Every man reading this has done it. You're scrolling casually through your phone, maybe waiting for something or someone, maybe just passing time. Then suddenly it appears. A thumbnail, a woman posed just right, maybe a certain expression, maybe a little skin, maybe a body you just can't pull your eyes off of. Maybe just enough mystery to trigger curiosity. Before your brain even processes what you're seeing, your finger has already tapped the screen. The video opens, and in that moment you realize something strange. You didn't really decide to click. The click simply happened. Something deeper than your conscious thinking took over. Something older than logic. Something wired into you long before smartphones, before YouTube, before the internet itself even existed. But what most men don't realize is that someone else already knew you were going to click. Someone designed that thumbnail with surgical precision, like I like to say. Someone tested 20, 50, sometimes 100 variations of poses, facial expressions, clothing, lighting, angles, and body language. All to figure out the exact combination that makes the male brain react automatically without even thinking. The version you saw wasn't random. It was the winner of a competition designed to capture your attention. And when you clicked, money moved. You might not have paid anything directly, but advertisers did, platforms did, algorithms did what they were built to do. Your attention became a product. Your reaction became data. Your curiosity became profit. This isn't about blaming men. This is about understanding a system. Because the truth is simple. Male attention has become one of the most profitable commodities on earth, and entire industries are built around capturing it. The idea that sex sells is nothing new. It's been a marketing strategy for decades. Long before social media existed, advertisers already understood something powerful about the human mind. Sexual imagery captures attention faster and more reliable than almost anything else. It bypasses logic. A man might ignore 1,000 advertisements in a day, but introduce a hint of sexual attraction, and suddenly his brain pays attention whether he wants to or not. Companies figured this out early. Beer commercials surrounded their products with attractive women, even though the women had nothing to do with the beer. Car commercials placed models beside vehicles as if buying the car somehow included access to the woman standing next to it. Fast food commercials filled their ads with bodies and flirtation instead of focusing on the food itself. The mission was subtle, but very, very powerful. Desire gets transferred. You see the woman, your brain responds to attraction. Then your mind associates that feeling with the product sitting beside her. Suddenly the product feels more appealing, even though nothing about the product itself has changed. It's not about logic. It's about association. And you know what? It works. Once advertisers realized how powerful this strategy was, they didn't stop at intuition. They brought science into the equation. Researchers began studying male visual attention. Eye-tracking experiments showed exactly where men look when they see certain images. Scientists can measure how long attention stayed on specific parts of an image. They could identify which poses, expressions, and visual cues held attention longest. What started as guesswork became science, and it became data. Suddenly, marketers didn't have to hope something would work. They could test it. A thumbnail that produced more clicks survived. One that didn't perform well disappeared. Over time, the system refined itself through constant experimentation. This is how optimization works. Thousands of small experiments gradually produce a formula that is extremely effective. And today, those formulas power algorithms that decide what millions of men see every day. The internet didn't create this system, it supercharged it. In the past, a company might test one advertisement and broadcast it to everyone. Today, digital platforms run millions of experiments simultaneously. Every click you make feeds information back into the system. The algorithm learns. It learns what you pause on, what you watch longer, what you click first, what you ignore. It tracks patterns across millions of users and builds models that predict behavior with frightening accuracy. Over time, the system gets better at capturing attention. Creators notice this quickly. Someone might upload 2 identical videos with different thumbnails, one neutral, one featuring an attractive woman. The difference in clicks can be dramatic. Eventually, creators learn the lesson. If they want views, they must play the game. And the algorithm rewards those who do. This attention system eventually created entire business models. Restaurants discovered that men would pay more to eat in environments staffed by attractive women dressed in revealing uniforms. The food didn't have to be the best. The atmosphere itself became the product. Gaming companies discovered that character design could drive engagement just as much as gameplay. Female characters became increasingly stylized to maximize attraction because developers learned that players spent more time and spent more money on games that triggered that response. Streaming platforms saw similar patterns. Creators who leaned into visual appeal often gained audiences faster than creators who relied only on skill or information. Eventually, the system evolved again. Why sell a product beside the attraction when you can sell the attraction directly? Subscription platforms removed the middleman. Instead of beer or video games acting as the bridge between desire and spending, the transaction became more direct. Attention became the currency. And millions of men began spending money inside a system designed specifically to convert attraction into revenue. Once this model proved profitable, everyone entered the race. Game companies competed for attention. Social media platforms compete for attention. Content creators compete for attention. Advertising networks compete for attention. But the supply of attention is limited. Every man only has so many hours in a day and only so much money to spend. Yet the systems competing for those resources have no limits at all. Each system tries to capture a slice. One subscription here, a small purchase there, a digital item somewhere else. Individually, these expenses feel small, but when added together across years, the total becomes substantial. Many men would be shocked if they added up every dollar spent inside these systems. The extraction happens slowly, quietly, and almost invisibly. What makes the system even more powerful is that it doesn't start in adulthood. It starts very early. Young boys grow up surrounded by media that constantly reinforces certain visual patterns and expectations. Over time, these patterns become normal. The response becomes automatic. By the time a man reaches adulthood, many of his reactions have been shaped by years of exposure. And the digital systems waiting for him are designed to exploit exactly those reactions. That doesn't make men weak. It makes them human. But it also means awareness matters. Understanding the system doesn't magically free anyone from it, but it does change something important. When you see a thumbnail and recognize that it was engineered to trigger you, there is suddenly a small pause between stimulus and action. A moment where you can ask yourself, why did I click? Was that curiosity real or was it programmed? Where is my attention going and who benefits from it? That pause is powerful. Not because it defeats the system completely, but because it creates awareness where there was once automatic reaction. And awareness is where real control begins. The reality is simple. Male desire is ancient. It's biological. It's part of being human. There is nothing shameful about that reality. What's new is the engineering around it. Corporations, platforms, and entire industries have learned how to turn that natural response into predictable revenue. They have optimized it, measured it, and scaled it to a level previous generations never imagined. The system isn't disappearing anytime soon. Too much money depends on it. Too many businesses rely on it. Too many people have accepted it as normal. But understanding the system changes your relationship with it. You start noticing the triggers instead of blindly reacting to them. You start questioning where your time, attention, and money are actually going. And that awareness can redirect your energy toward things that actually serve your life. Because at the end of the day, attention is power. Where you place it determines who profits from it. The question every man must ask himself is simple. Are you choosing where your attention goes, or is someone else choosing for you? We're like drug addicts, following behind the possibility of getting high. And it's really bad. See, at my age, almost 63, I can see how things have intensified and how it's been manipulated. But what about those who are younger, who were born and raised in a digital world, a social media world, where this is normalized starting out from the gate? I feel sorry for those folks, because it's going to be hard for them to come out of it. It's hard enough for an older person to come out of it, because for them, this bombardment is new. So it works both ways. There's been a study that I learned about many years ago. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but I can tell you the point. Say back in the late 1960s, the amount of ads that people saw, the advertisements, it's nowhere near in number compared to what's bombarding your brain now. Now, I know maybe we don't watch as much TV as we used to sit down in front of a box and watch it. Well, it's a flat screen now. But we still do, but not as much. Why? Because we have the phone, we have the internet, and we can look into our phone. Lots of times we have a TV on and we're sitting in our living room, we have the phone in our hand and we're looking at the phone more than we're looking at the TV. But we never had the phone before, right? So we had to wait to go home to sit down to watch TV, right? You couldn't do that at work. You couldn't do that while you commuted. You couldn't do that while you shopped. So now with the phone, bringing the internet to you, you are bombarded with tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of advertisements. See, you don't sit there counting them up, but the things that pop up on your screen that you have to X out, the things you have to look at before the video you choose comes on, right? So you have to, in a way, reject this, but your mind really doesn't, because for a split second you absorb it. So if you're a man or a lesbian, throw in a beautiful woman that, even though you might not be interested in the product, you're like, man, she looks pretty good. I'd love to run into her. But now the product or the awareness of it has slipped into the back door of your mind, where if that woman wasn't there, you would have clicked away, right? And forgotten all about it. Now you keep seeing it, you keep seeing it, you keep seeing it. And then now it's time to buy something in that category of that product, like we have on the banner here. And I called it manipulation, men's cologne. What are they saying? Or how did I come up with this idea? Well, you're being manipulated. These guys are ready in the banner to purchase a cologne they didn't even smell yet. Maybe they have people out there who are, take a little whiff of this or take a little whiff of that, but they're so ready. They're handing the money. Why? Is it because of the cologne and the bottle looks so good? Or is it because of these well-endowed women who are there to grab your attention? And really subconsciously, what are they doing? They're trying to buy her. Or the possibility of having somebody like her. Because if you get manipulation men's cologne and you wear it, you just might get lucky. And the chances are higher because of what you see right here. So quick to give it up because of what they see. Manipulation indeed. So I ask you, what are you manipulated on in your spending? What is it that you have a weakness for? It's there. It has been there from the beginning of time, but it's manufactured more so now and used against you. So the next time you feel when you look down at your budget and say, wait a second, I'm spending a little more money than I had to, try to figure it out. Maybe you were guilty of trying to wear manipulation cologne. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. At the end of the day, you have nothing. You spent it all out. Some people are good with it and have control. Other people have no control. And any pretty face and sexy body that walks up next to you, half naked, has a big influence on you, right? What is it? Hooters in America, the restaurant. I don't know if it's anywhere else other than America, right? But the women that have their breasts are pushed up, they got the tight stuff on. I went there one time with some people and the food to me wasn't really all that good. But I can see why. That atmosphere, maybe it could be a single guy who goes home to an empty apartment. He just wants to be around beautiful women without having to go to the strip joint and be labeled as a pervert. Who knows? But every action you take when it comes to your wallet, think about it. Think about why. Do you really need this? Is this something that you have to spend on? It can be quite surprising. I see a lot of guys blow a lot of money over the years on foolishness that they didn't need to spend money on. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to be on to the next one. LanceScurv out. Much love to you all. We got to talk about this. Meet me in the comments section, okay? Peace.